All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast. This is our first podcast. So I'm Cam. This is Mike, DJ Mike.
What's up? I'm DJ Mike.
Um, so yeah, we don't really have a name for the podcast, so we can't tell you the name yet. I think we'll just kind of figure it out now. But pretty much, it's what is it?
After hours? Recap?
After hours recapping
Daily recap?
something like that. I don't know.
After hours with the boys?
After hours.
Bridgetown after hours?
Yeah, Bridgetown after hours. So right now it's after hours. It's oh shoot, it's bedtime. It's 12:40 a.m.
It's 11:56.
What?
It's 11:57.
Oh,
Why did you think it was 12:40?
my laptop is saying it's 12:39 p.m.
It's 11:57.
So it's 11:57 p.m.
So you need a new laptop.
Yeah. So yeah, it's after hours. Welcome to the After Hours podcast. Pretty much we're just gonna be recapping
Yep.
the day in the life.
Big day today.
Kind of just
Big day today.
So
Big day today.
So about me and Mike, the later it gets, the less we make sense to anyone.
Yep.
And our thoughts kind of just ramble a little bit.
So here we are. You're gonna get the full treatment. You're gonna get the full experience. We'll see if any of it makes sense.
All right.
But it'll be funny.
So what do you want to talk about?
All right. So first off, we're gonna get to know each other a little bit better. we're gonna get to know each other, but the people are gonna get to know each other, right? So a part of everybody's childhood, an inevitable part of everybody's childhood, you get bullied, right? It's the world we live in. Everybody gets bullied. People suck. We suck, right?
Yeah, I've been bullied a lot.
Yep. So to help me understand a little bit more about you and the listeners, I just want to know, if you got bullied, what were you called?
Yeah, so this is a running joke between Mike and I, and pretty much anyone. I'd like to I like to make people feel a little bit bad while making a joke. Pretty much at my expense. So growing up, I had this pretty much people,
nothing really.
It's not that deep. People called me camcorders because I was a quarter of their size. Someone gave me this nickname while we were playing football. So at the time, it was like, oh, I was like so on board. I was like, oh, they're calling me like a quarterback. Really, it was just like everyone was just calling me a quarter of their size. So
you thought you were Cam quarterback?
So that's my bullying nickname.
Yeah. Anything else? All right. I'll share, and then if you have anything else, you can pitch in. All right. So I was the youngest of 5. I'm still the youngest of 5.
That's good.
Yeah. 5 siblings. That's good. Yeah. Growing up, I wouldn't say my siblings bullied me. They definitely gave me the work. They were good siblings to me, but they definitely made fun of me a good amount and just gave me crap for being the youngest kid. But I think the nickname and the name that like they bullied me with that highlighted or that stuck out the most was Baby Michael Muffin Top Poopy Pants. Because I mean the name.
Yeah, break that down.
The name tells you the story, you know.
Break it down.
So Baby Michael, because I'm the youngest of 5. Muffin Top, because when I was like,
I feel like that's self-explanatory too.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Well, what do you think of when you think of a muffin top?
Just the biggest like mid-roll.
Yeah. So when I was like 12, I liked cookies, right? And I'd eat cookies all the time. I'd eat bags of chips. Like I could house a bag of chips. And my parents and my siblings would always give me crap about how many like bags of chips and cookies I could eat. But anyways, it caught up to me. And then I got these just fat rolls. And I still have a little bit of them, but I had these fat rolls around my waist. And so he called me Baby Michael Muffin Top. And then Poopy Pants. One year, we're getting to know each other. 1 year at the beach, right? my brother Josh, my third oldest brother. Uh, I was like walking up the stairs. I was like young, but too old for this to be like remotely normal. I was walking up the stairs, and he said something. It could have been something really dumb. I don't remember, but he said something that made me laugh so hard. And I was walking up the stairs, and so I was like one foot in front of the other. All of a sudden, just farted and let one out, and it was not just a fart. So it went from Baby Michael Muffin Top to Baby Michael Muffin Top Poopy Pants. So
Yeah.
they've gone with it, and they still call me Baby Michael. All my brother's friends call me Baby Michael, and so people think it's hilarious. So I think that's a little bit about me. And
Growing up, the youngest sibling was like, okay, so I'm not the youngest sibling, but I'm the youngest of my brothers. So I have two older brothers. Michael's the youngest. He has how many? Three?
four older siblings.
Four older siblings. Yeah. Three other older brothers.
Yeah.
Older brothers were the worst. They would kick you out of pretty much everything that they had. But there were some times when I was thankful to have my brothers. Was like, yeah, I was a quarter of everyone's size. So in the winters, everyone would go out in this backfield and like have these snowball fights.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was these two guys. They were all in high school. I was young. I was in like elementary school or whatever. These two guys would just like make these ice balls and then just kept rocking me in the face with them. I was just on the ground being pelted by them. And I was like, at that time, I didn't think that my brothers really cared for me. But they came over and they just beat the crap out of these two kids. And I was sitting there.
That's how
like,
you know they kind of.
I was like, oh yeah, this is all right.
Yeah. We're talking about how we were bullied, but I wouldn't say this was bullying. It was just an unfortunate series of events. But I was over at my Grammy's one time when I was probably, I don't know, 12 or 13. But I feel bad about it. But I think the guy's doing okay today. That's what matters, right? At the end of the day, you turn out well. But it was snowing, and I made it. I'm kind of like what happened to Cam. Like I had made a snowball and just threw the snowball at this kid, and it wasn't. I didn't maliciously throw it at his face, but it ended up hitting his face, hitting his glasses, and then he just started sobbing. So his older brothers didn't come and beat me up, but I felt really bad about it, and my Grammy made me apologize about it. But you know, as a little kid, you throw snowballs, and sometimes kids get in the face. It's just the way it happens. But I felt bad about it. But he's doing okay. So if you're listening to this, I'm sorry about that. On Compton Avenue, in like 2012. Sorry I hurt your feelings in your face, but hope you're doing okay now.
Well, we started talking about we're going to talk through our day.
Yeah.
And then we just went on a tangent about
No, they needed to get to know us. They needed to get to know us better.
So you wanted this to be a get to know you.
It was no.
So growing up, I had 6 to 7 fractured vertebrae. Yeah. It's something I dealt with. It's very personal to me.
Yeah.
There were a lot of trials.
You feel bad now, listener?
Yeah, I wore a back brace for at least 2 years when I was 12 to 13 in middle school. You can tell that's just not going to go well. I tried to save face. People would make fun of me. Like I had screws sticking out through all my shirts. There were 4 like very prominent like screw holes that came through like the chest plate. And I would say I called myself Iron Cam. Try and make it better. It didn't work.
You feel like that was good for you? You feel like that built
that was it. Everyone needs to, like character building growing up.
Oh yeah.
What did we used to say?
You can always tell.
Yeah.
If you look at a person, specifically guys, I would never say this about a woman. It's different. It's different. But specifically men. Yeah, it's a different tell for a girl.
A different tell.
And we won't discuss that right now.
Deep.
But for men, you can always tell based on the way they treat other people, other guys. You can always tell if they got beat up enough as a kid. Because some kids really, they walk around with this just, like they just, you can tell they did not get beat up enough as a kid. And it's it's damage that wasn't damage, but it's damage.
It's not damage. It's you were either beat up as a child or you need to be beat up still.
Yep.
Like there's no real like in between. You know, it's hard to explain, but I seriously fully believe that within the first minute of like
Oh,
meeting
you can
someone
tell.
that you can tell
You can tell.
if they need to be beat up or they've already been beat up as a
The
kid.
best way to know if a kid got beat up enough, open up a car hood. If he has no idea what he's doing, you just know he never got beat up. He never did.
Yeah, what was that guy out front the other day?
I can't just drop names.
No, not his name.
Oh
Just
yeah,
walk through
No.
that
I won't share his
interaction.
name. But I was replacing the exhaust on my car that broke.
And then lead up to the point where you were like, yeah, he either had to be beat up or has been beat up as a kid.
Oh, it was obvious he hadn't been beaten up enough. Because here's the thing, when you approach cars, if you approach it and you know a lot about cars, or if you know a good amount about cars, you're not gonna like front like, oh yeah, I know like a lot about
Yeah.
cars, you know? Like if you know a lot about cars, you're gonna be like, you're gonna wanna like get to know the next guy who also knows a lot about cars. So you're not gonna front like, oh, I know a lot about cars.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, he saw me under my car, look like working on my exhaust, and his first question was, "You know a thing or two about cars?" And I was like, "I hope I know a thing or two about cars." I'm like under my car, working on my car. But he was a nice guy. He was like, "I got a car lift if you want to use it," because I was underneath the car and no car lift, right next to the road. It was a little sketchy, but I survived. But so he was a nice guy. But I think at the end of the day, I was like, after he asked if I knew a thing or two about cars, I was like, yeah, and he was like, it kind of went dead, and I was like, what do you drive? Because it's like after that, it's like, why are we talking? Like, what do you drive? So I asked him, and he was like, I'll pull it up, and I was like, cool, pull it up. I was still under the car, and like I was working on something to the point where I was like, I really just don't want to talk to this person, but
when you're working on your own car
Yeah.
and like Michael was under the car and
Yeah.
this guy walked up with no like purpose to it. It's just like, why are you here? Like I'm in the middle of doing this.
Yeah. So he pulls up his car. It's this. It's not the hottest car, but it's old. You can tell he's done a little bit of work on it. But his first question is, you know how to replace a cool air intake? And I was like, I opened up the hood, and I was like, I looked at him and I was like, it's right here. Like there's two screws. There's one sensor. Yeah, I know how to replace that. And he's like, okay. But I was like, just look up a YouTube video, like figure out, like look up a video. Somebody else knows how to do it better than I do, better than you do. So just look it up. Like it's not that hard. But it was just the whole interaction. He was like, it was clear that he was like, I'm fronting. I know a lot about cars, but like I also want to know, like, do you know a lot about cars? So, moral of the story is though, if a guy's like really flexing and fronting that he knows a lot about cars, it's probably a tell he didn't get beat up enough as a kid. So the answer is not necessarily to beat him up, like help him out, show him a thing or two about cars. But like if you're ever talking to that guy, you can tell within.
Yeah, he needed to be beat up.
Lakers are beating the Mavericks.
Oh.
Shout out Mark Cuban.
Oh yeah. Shout out LeBron.
The Lakers suck.
Yeah, LeBron sucks.
You know, I've been thinking a lot recently, and I know this is an introduction.
So if we're gonna talk about basketball, I'm I don't know
just one thought. I've been thinking a lot recently, and I've been reflecting on the last 2 decades of basketball, and also just LeBron James' Twitter feed. And I personally think that the world and basketball and the people who watch basketball in general, they need to respect LeBron James. The respect that has long been overdue needs to be given to him, and I'll say it.
So all I know about basketball is Well, I don't know anything about basketball really.
Yeah, you know
I
that.
don't know the rules or anything. I hear about LeBron a lot, and he just complains about
Yeah.
everything. I mean, and plus the thing. So I like hockey. Alex Ovechkin
Oh
has.
wait, hold up. LeBron James beat up enough or not?
That's what I'm getting to. It's Alex Ovechkin has stayed committed to the same franchise
Oh
his
yeah,
whole entire
yeah,
career, and just recently got his first cup.
yeah.
LeBron James will hop skip around to every single team and try and cherry pick players
Yep,
and try and like do all this like magic NBA formula to try and be a winner.
yep.
That's all the signs
Super teams,
of someone who hasn't been beat up enough.
never.
It's like trying to get your way just to win. And that's why every time after he loses in the playoffs, everyone's on Twitter being like, "Oh, he's gonna clear house. He's looking to trade people now." It's like he's a player. Like he shouldn't have that ability to do that.
Yeah,
And that's one of the reasons I don't like the NBA or basketball.
yeah.
Yeah, he needs to get beat up. But I'm sure he's a nice guy though.
Yeah, he's got a good heart. All right, so getting to know us better.
Yeah.
So nicknames, childhood nicknames.
Camcorders.
Cam, in the last 2 weeks, what's been something that you've done in your like personal life or your job that you were like, wow, I'm really proud of this.
Mm,
Mm.
that's deep. um, that's deep. Why don't we circle back to that
Cam
one?
Cam realizes he needs a new job because he doesn't do anything that he's proud of.
So, well, the thing
No,
I'm
no.
proud about with my job is I've managed to do I've managed to spread in hours worth 30 minutes an hour, a certain amount of work
That's skill.
out
That's skill.
across 8 hours in a
That's
day.
skill.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, clip that.
Yeah, you can't hear that.
um,
We'll have to bleep that out. It'll be like, "Brr," if you're listening.
something I've grown to appreciate over the last 2 weeks. I we bought this $400 truck over COVID 2 years
We,
ago. I mean,
you bought this.
I bought it, but it was a collective like decision
Yeah,
to work on this during COVID.
Yeah,
We worked and fixed it up. It's a 1992 Ford Ranger.
Yep.
Call it Ranger Danger because it's such a death trap and not a safe car to drive. Over the past week, so the brakes have been gone for a couple months. The back brakes stopped working. The front brakes were on their way out. So I took it to my parents' garage and started working on it. And I've over the years I've started to hate working on cars so much because every single car I've had is so old
yeah.
and it just gets so tedious. Like every time trying to replace something. So I've been working on the car for the last 2 weeks. I replaced the whole entire brake system, and it was awful doing it.
Yep.
But something I've grown to appreciate and be proud of over the last weeks is just the ability to just go and do something. And my uncle pointed this out. He came over and saw me doing something. I was doing this thing called
Taking a bolt out.
I was it's called flaring a brake line. It's when
Oh yeah.
it's when you have like I was using steel tubing to run my new brake lines throughout my truck, and on the ends of it you have to crimp the end of the tube in a certain way so that it holds into the bolt and it gives enough pressure that the brake fluid can go through it. And so my uncle walked up and I was frustrated working on this and he was just pointing out, he's like, "Oh man, like every time I come over here, you're working on something. And you're just like trying to do it
Yeah.
and like just going at it, not like afraid to do that." And I was
Yeah.
like, it made me appreciative of that skill and proud of that I have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, to just tackle.
That's a good answer.
To just tackle something and
Well,
learn a new skill that like
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I looked up a couple YouTube videos,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, I have new brake lines, and it was fun. Now the next time I need to do that, or it, so yeah, that's what I'm proud of the last 2 weeks is the ability to just learn things and just go after it.
That's good. Um, how's the car doing now?
Oh, the car's an absolute wreck.
Uh,
Went to replace another part on it and just found a huge like rust hole in the frame.
uh, that'll buff out.
So it's frustrating, but I mean, the same point again. I have my dad's friend is coming up this weekend. He's going to teach me how to weld, and hopefully get that fixed too.
There you go. You'll learn something new.
So,
That's always good. All right, new question. You got to give me a question this time.
I mean, I would just man, this mic sounds awful. I would just take oh that sounds better. I would just take the same question.
No. All right. What's the question?
Last 2 weeks, what is something that you'll put your name behind and you're proud of that you've accomplished, or not accomplished, or just done?
Yeah, I guess one thing I've DJ'd every weekend in the past couple weeks, and that's been really fun.
So Mike's a DJ.
Yeah, so I'm a DJ. So I DJ. Yeah, didn't know that. So I DJ. I work for Repeatable DJ Photo Booth and Services. Photo booth. Repeatable.
He knows what company it is. He just can't tell you.
I definitely know the company I work for.
We're gonna clip it.
Clip that. I work for Repeatable DJ and Photo Booth Services. Sorry, that's a mouthful. But yeah, I did 2 school dances. I did a daddy-daughter dance. So it's been fun. That's been a lot of fun. Got some new gear from my company. Feel like I'm getting a lot better. Just knowing how to read the room, how to play songs that people are gonna really enjoy. Yep. And then that's like I like that. I enjoy that. It's a good side gig. I'm passionate about it. I don't love it. Like it's a good source of income, but it's not like what I really want to put my name behind. One thing I work my day job. I work at a church. I do like admin for 2 pastors. One of the jobs I do is admin for youth ministry, so for like student ministry, kids from 6th to 12th grade. And I looked at like the rosters of attendance from the past like 6 months and figured out who is a consistent attendee, who is like a iffy attendee, like attends sometime, and then who like never attends of all the kids in our church, so that kind of analyzed data can then be given to the guy or the team I work for with the student ministry, the youth ministry, so that then we can figure out how to care for the kids who are on the edge, iffy, and then also the kids who just don't come at all, so that they can have community, that they can have a place where they feel known and loved and cared for. So that I felt like, I don't know, it was something where I was like, I wasn't directly involved in caring for somebody, but hopefully it's like something that will lead to my boss and our team's ability to care for students. So I enjoyed that. But other than that, just DJing, just throwing some fire beats down, which basically means playing songs by famous artists and putting a small 15-second transition in there to make people think I'm a good DJ. But book with Repeatable DJ Services for 2023. We're booking.
Shout out Repeatable.
Yep.
So
shout out DJ Mike in the house.
Lately, I've been thinking about next steps in life. I feel like I'm in this spot where
deep.
I'm finishing up the first year in my career field after graduating from school.
Yep, in your career field.
And so growing up, just up until this point, up until last year, like I've had this set trajectory in life of just like I'm gonna go to school, and I'm once my jumping point is getting out of college. Like I want to get through college, and everything in my personal life has been leading up to this point. And so after this first year in my career field, I'm just like, what's next?
Yeah.
So to that point, what's next?
For me?
Do you feel like you're at this point where you know what's next for you?
Yeah.
It can be career wise or personal wise, or do you see a trajectory,
Mhm.
or are you still looking for that trajectory, or are you looking? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been in a serious relationship for this month. It'll be a year. So, in the next near future, want to get married, and definitely in the next 5 years, want to get married, have kids. So, well, start having kids. But that's kind of
Start having or
personal.
having kids.
Having kids. I want to
So
have.
have kids.
I want to have kids.
So between 1 and 5 years, Mike plans or
Get
wants to be married and have
married,
kids.
have kids.
That's
At least one
before 30.
before 30.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Because otherwise, it's like, what are you doing? No, just kidding. Anybody who's 30 plus out there, we love you. We see you. Cringy.
So I'm 25 and single.
Yeah,
Just
sorry.
pointing that out.
Yeah. Hey,
Shout out singles.
ladies. um,
Yeah.
top 5 reasons women should want to date you. Go. No, I'm kidding.
I'm hot.
Okay.
I'm obviously
wait,
funny.
Let me
Short king.
let me finish. What was I talking about?
So
my
your
5-year plan.
personal life, you want to be
My
married
5-year
and
plan.
have kids.
I want to be married and have kids. In like working at the church.
Did you already say you worked at the church too?
Yeah, I already said I worked
Okay,
at
I
the
wasn't
church.
listening.
And working at the church, so I want to like keep DJing on the side. It's a good source of side income. The next few years, I'd love to scale that to the point where I have a couple of people who work under me who I can like book gigs for.
Pyramid scheme.
No. If you want to DJ for me though, you'll make a lot of money.
So
it's not a pyramid
you
scheme.
sign up under him.
You sign up under me. I make some of the money.
You'll make money, and you'll be doing something. But if you get people under you, we can all make money.
No.
It doesn't make a pyramid.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's
No, Mike already has someone above him, and
Yeah.
then he's telling Mike to reach out to people under him. So he's already fully
no.
invested in the pyramid.
No.
Not
It's
a
not a
pyramid.
pyramid scheme.
Continue.
They come alongside me. I don't know. But anyways, I want to develop that a little bit, whatever scheme you want to call it, and then
Passive income.
passive income. Hey, you let
No.
you let. So yeah, in the next 5 years, I'd say in the next year, I want to continue to like figure out and think about and discern what what career I want to like really go all in for. Because right now, I'd say being young and working at a church, it's like I can't really go all in because if I go all in, it's like it could not happen that I like become a pastor. Like it's not like a given that like you just work at a church and then you become a pastor. So I guess I want to like continue this year and years on to like to discern like what I want to do and what like career I really want to put like my heart and soul in. Because if I do want to work at a church and eventually become a pastor, like I want to be like all in and confident in that. And then if I do want to like I study marketing at George Mason. If I do want to take a marketing job, work social media, be a teacher, like I don't know. If I do want to do something else, I want to like be all in for it. And so I think I'm in a similar place as you, just trying to navigate big decisions and figure out what I'm really passionate about, figure out what I have a heart for and skilled for. So I mean, I could do anything, be good at it, but I'm just trying to figure out like what I'm passionate about, you know? Because if you work hard, if you like bust your butt, you can be good at most things.
Gary V.
Yep. 10x. But
10x.
You gotta figure out what you want to work hard at and like put your heart and soul into. Not necessarily saying that you're gonna find that. And while you look for that, you gotta still work. But
that's deep.
Work to find that. Work to make a living for you and your family, but then find that while you do it. You know, real talk.
We're talk. Flip that.
Yeah, clip that. No, don't clip that. Oh no, clip that.
Clip that's a good thing. I was using
clip,
it wrong.
Yeah,
the
clip
whole
that's a
time.
good thing.
Yeah.
You were
I was trying to say
that.
cut. Yeah, cut that.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
Yeah, clip that. So
Yeah.
I know in the future.
Can you tell it's our first podcast?
So yeah. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
This podcast sucks.
No, it doesn't.
But I'm glad you're listening.
The Mavericks are on
I
top.
hope that you did you see let me pull it up.
What?
We need like
The
some
Mavericks
sort
are
of
on
like
top.
projection
We need some
systems.
sort of TV or something to put some stuff on. Did Wisconsin win?
So we follow Big Cat a little bit.
Yeah.
Shout out Big Cat.
Shout out Big Cat. We don't endorse Barstool Sports as a whole, but Big Cat.
But Big Cat and Jersey
And
Jerry.
we don't endorse when we say we like somebody. We don't endorse everything that.
I'm not
person
talking about
has ever
endorsing
done.
anyone.
Yeah, I know, but when you share like somebody's name on a podcast, it's like
Big Cat, that could be anything.
Was that tonight?
Yes.
Oh, that's too much.
They stormed
Wisconsin did.
the Kansas TSU game. Wait.
What? That's not.
Oh, that was Roan.
You're dumb. Did Big Cat?
Yeah, they
Did
stormed
Wisconsin win?
The Badgers won.
Okay, Wisconsin won tonight, and Big Cat stormed the court.
I don't know who the Badgers are, but
Wisconsin Badgers.
Okay.
Yeah,
The Badgers won
shout
tonight.
out Wisconsin Badgers.
Shout out sports.
Yep.
So
you think Tom Brady comes back? No, not a football podcast. Not a football podcast.
it's not a football podcast.
Not a football podcast.
He does not come back.
You don't think so?
At least not this year. My initial thoughts were,
hot
oh,
take.
man, this sucks.
You think?
I'm like echoey in
You
here.
think? Shut up, Marley. You think Tom Brady wants to come back?
Put these
to
on and tell
play-
me I'm not echoing.
You think Tom Brady wants to come back and play in the same city as Bronny for his last season?
Wait, who did you say? Brady?
Bronny.
Did you say Brady?
You think Brady wants to come back for his final season in the same city that Bronny's playing in?
So I think you mean LeBron, not Brady.
No, Bronny. Bronny's his kid.
You said Brady
I
coming
know.
back for
LeBron.
So my thing with wait, no.
It's a take. Hey, listen.
You said
What
no,
if it happens?
You're confusing
What
two
if it
different
happens?
things.
I know. I'm purposely doing it.
Okay, so my initial thought on Brady. Man, this is getting worse.
Your mic sound bad?
Yeah, it's
Let me sound it.
you cut that.
Cut this. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm flying blind here.
Yeah.
It sounds bad, doesn't it?
No, it sounds pretty good to me.
Mine.
Mine sounds worse than yours to me.
Yours sounds better in my mind. So, I always thought that. Well, I didn't always. When he announced his retirement, I thought Brady was doing this retirement just so that he can get out of spring training or whatever summer training. I don't know.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Whatever
he's old.
spring, because he's old. He wants
Yeah,
to like
spring
hang out with
training.
his family. He's good enough where he doesn't need to be with the team up until preseason.
Yeah.
And not even preseason, really. Just game one,
Yeah.
he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Like he's already got his life coach, his fitness coach, his nutritional coach.
Mhm.
All he needs. Also, hard transition here. You see Jersey Jerry?
Did you see his
He's-
icy goatee?
Oh yeah, his goatee is.
He's got an
Yeah.
icy goatee.
He's got a really good.
Go Steelers. Big Ben, just one of those players. He's a great player, but he's an even better guy. You know?
His personal life is glowing.
Yeah,
he's done a lot for the Pittsburgh area.
Antonio Brown. He's humble on the field, but he's even humbler off the field.
He went on a podcast after his whole like big like walk off of.
Did you watch it with Brandon Marshall?
Is that who that was?
Yeah, that was Brandon Marshall.
It looked like a very like scattered like not put. Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out. Smaller podcast.
No,
No,
it was
I
like
think it's
four
a-
guys around the couch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looked like the production was not ready to have someone of his caliber on it.
Oh no, different podcast. This was like Brandon Marshall has a huge podcast.
Right. I
following.
think it was him. Just in the beginning, it was like not well thought out. And the questions they had for AB,
he was
were
going
just,
in.
he was going in.
He was going
but he was
in.
like beating. The questions were not set up well because once AB, or was it AB? Is that what Antonio Brown? Yeah. Once he like shut off and he was like, "Yo, like, why you keep asking me about the Bucks game?" That's all they had prepared for was these Bucks questions.
Oh yeah.
And then it threw the whole podcast for a loop. And at that point, they were just kind of like
They were just kind of hanging out at that point.
they were kind of just like patting AB on the back
Yeah.
the rest of the time for what he's doing with his rap career
I think
or whatever.
I think they did
And
a
then,
good job
and then
trying
AB
to.
was trying to be like inspirational, but in like a
This one?
financial wealth kind of
Yeah, this one. I think they did a good job trying to really get to the root of like why he did what he did, which I think he gave a good explanation.
He did have some good insights.
I think he gave some good
over
insight.
like the media plays things up to a point where it's like there's no way to know what's like in a football player's like mentality of like how much expectation
What
has been placed on players like AB.
What I got out of it is there's only so much mental like beating a player can go through before they just snap. And he just decided like if coach is gonna come up to me and say, "Get the F out of here, you're cut," like that's snap.
Not like physical. Like
no, not physical. No. Like mental, like
because he's been injured. He had the whole ankle thing going on.
No, I totally don't.
And then week to week, he was like, he came to the Bucks with this high expectations for him that he just couldn't live up to physically.
Yeah, because he was hurt.
And then at that point, they went into that game.
They didn't really want him.
Everyone said he couldn't play, like the health trainers and everything. And then the coach tried to put him in. He's like, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's like, you come in, you're not able to live up to this like unreal expectation that people and the fans and the media have put you up to. I don't know. It was kind of a cool insight.
It was a very unprofessional way to deal with a very real issue. Like it was a very real issue for him to be mistreated as a person. Like there's expectations that you have to meet as a football player, but there's also ways that you have to be treated as a human being, and it stooped too low for him. And I respect that he acknowledged that there is a threshold that money can't pay for, right? You can't just pay a player $50 million, $60 million, and then treat them like garbage, expect more from them than they can give, and then expect them to never have any emotional reaction to that. And he decided, like, I'm going to make my opinion and my experience known. And he did it, again, in a very unprofessional way that he could have made a lot more money if he chose to do it in a more professional way. But nonetheless, I think Bruce Arians not a nice guy for this. Antonio Brown,
go Bucks.
Not a nice guy for this. Yeah, go Bucks.
Antonio Brown's the victim here.
Answer C, both. Yeah, watch out for that.
Alex Ovechkin is also the victim here.
Yeah. Wait, really?
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No.
I don't know soccer well enough.
Yeah. Basketball's pretty confusing.
Yeah. All right, well, as we wrap up this podcast, what's one last thing that the viewers need to know about you and about me? The listeners. That the AWLs need to know.
What's that?
Yeah, you'll get it. Yeah, cut that. We're not there yet. Cut that.
Cut that.
Yeah.
AWL?
Award-winning listeners. We have AWLs.
Yeah, cut that.
No, we do.
Your mom, Natalie.
My dad.
Your dad.
My sister. Shout out Deck Family and Natalie.
Shout out Nat.
Yeah, shout out Nat. Shout out Nat Mac. Shout out.
What's the question?
All right. What's one thing that you got to leave the listeners with?
Listeners,
they have to know about you.
The thing that you have to know about me is I'm driven by content. Content is king.
It's king.
So moving forward, please leave your recommendation for topics, things you want to know about us moving forward in the comments. I don't even know if we're putting this out on anything. Probably just going to set it in a text chain to people who want to listen to it.
Yep.
But if you want to listen to it, smash that like button.
Yeah. Hold down on the video and then click the like in the text.
Hold that. Do
Yeah.
a double tap for the heart.
And if this is on YouTube, shout out, like and subscribe.
Yeah, put a subscribe out there. We're gonna get better equipment going on. We want something on this background too.
Yep. If you have any
some ideas
Yeah.
for this white wall.
Sleepy.
This is most likely gonna be podcast number 2. This was
podcast number 2.
What was the name for it? Late night talk. After hours at Bridgecourt with the boys.
After hours at Bridgecourt. Bridgecourt. That's
Bridgecourt after hours.
After hours at Bridgetown.
Bridgecourt, nice.
It's Bridgetown.
Yeah, it's Bridgetown.
Bridgecourt. Bridgetown Court. That's a big difference, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So this will be the second of our 2 podcasts. The first one.
Yeah, I'll end it.
Yeah, you end it. Anyways, this has been Bridgetown with the boys.
Down? Good girl. All right. Sorry, were you talking?
Signing off, Mike.
All right. Signing off. Make sure to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Last thing, we're gonna be going to LA in 2 weeks, so it's gonna be a fun trip. We're gonna be taking a lot of footage. We'll be able to do some podcasts out there, so it'll be fun. But be looking out for some late night recaps, for some early morning real talk sessions. It'll be fun, It'll be a fun trip. We're going out with the boys. It'll be me, Cam, Daniel, and Josh, and we're going to see Gunther and Drew and Will.
And you all know those people.
Yeah, you know who they are. Yeah, shout out those guys. But it'll be fun. So be on the lookout for some good content coming from there.
Great. Be on the lookout for the LA content. This was Late Night with the Bridgetown Boys.
Late Night with the Bridgetown Boys. Signing off.
Peace.